time is going to get back to me or no? I'm going to spend
That's
one time only.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spend my time.
Yes.
Yeah. One continuous.
They start at 9 in the morning and at 3 it's over. So if you were to take 5 breaks, it's your time, yeah. And usually you wouldn't be able to take 5 breaks because like I said, if there's only 2 proctors in the room, one person has to stay there all the time, and the second person will go out with you. And you have to sign out, and when you come back in, you have to sign in again. So they will follow you around to make sure that you don't have some nose somewhere. It's very, very strict, the whole process. And usually if it's a large group, they will have like 4 or 5 proctors that will be there. And sometimes what they do is they set up a small break area outside the room. And people will just sit there all the time with some energy drinks. And I recommend that you bring some energy drinks, snack bar, and you stop. At one point you just relax for 10 minutes and you go back in. That helps a whole lot. Because when you're under the clock, you're resting a bit. 6 hours is a long period of time. And you'll see after 2 hours you'll probably be tired and you'll take a pause and start again. So yeah, you can do this for sure. Minimum of 5 years of experience nowadays. If you have a bachelor's degree, then you need only 4 years of experience. And there's a whole series of certifications like Security Plus, some of the GIAC certification, GIAC certified firewall analyst, GIAC certified intrusion analyst, that can count for 1 year as well. So if you have one of those certifications, you would need only 3 years of experience. As far as education, you can get only 1 year of waiver for education. Even if you have a master, you still get only 1 year waiver for experience.
What do you mean by experience? Experience in any domain or experience in security only?
You need experience in 2 of the 10 domains. And that has changed last year in October. Before it was experience in 1 of the 10 domains. So you could have somebody that did physical security all his life and he was able to take the exam. So now it's experience in 2 of the 10 domains, and it could be any of the subjects within the 10 domains. And they call it professional experience. And if you go to the ISC2 website, they describe what is professional experience. For example, if I am a member of a security team and my job is to create user accounts, you give me a piece of paper and say, let me create those 10 accounts. Then they don't call this professional experience. Usually professional experience is where you have to plan, supervise, design, architecture. That's the type of employment they look at. So if you are in charge of a small security team, you are in charge of building security plan, that would all apply. Designing software specifications, that would apply. Working on the security side, doing the physical security plan for the building, that would apply. So mostly, there's lots of things that apply. There's so many subjects within the domain. If you had a kind of a supervisor role, then it would apply within the domain. Course material, like I said, each of those booklets has 2 domains, and we're going to go through one per day. And the larger book, which says supplemental material, is the book that we built. And if you go within the book, you'll see that the first thing you have is questions that you will see at each of the 10 domains. So at the end of each module, we have 25 to 50 questions that we will stop, and we'll do the question in class, and then we can go to the next domain. There's also what they call reinforcement. Like there's something called the summary topic, which is small bullet points that you have at the end of each domain with the key points that exist within the domain. So those are good. And the only reason we created a separate book is that when you do your questions, you can keep the other book open as well. So you don't have to sit back and forward all the time trying to make sense where you are within your book. So that will make your life a bit easier. At the end of the book, there's 2 really, really good exam tracks. And those exam tracks is mostly an overview of the 10 domains and the key points within the 10 domains. The last one in the book is an exam track from a guy named Michael Overlay. And Michael Overlay is a guy that works as a lawyer in California. And last year he was named California top lawyer. So very good guy. You see him on CNN all the time, lots of the news media. And this guy sent me this one day and he said, Plummer, I took some time and I created a resume of the 10 domain. If you like it, you can use it on your website. And as I was going through, I found out that he did a fantastic job. So we included it as well at the end. Before the Michael overlay of an exam plan, you have something from a guy named Neil Granick, which was one of my students as well. He did the class, studied for the class for a few months, and he built this as a resume of the 10 domain. And he said, well, this you might like, take a look, and if you like it, use it. So I take a look at the guide, and it was so well done that I said, hey, I'm going to put this within my class material as well. So that's another thing you have. Then you have the 289 questions that we will do on day 6, so you don't have to touch those ones. And then you have all of the questions for each of the 10 domains that exist within all of those books that you will get as well in the package. So that's quite a bit of information altogether that we will go through. Oral communication, of course. Sometimes people expect you to be reachable at all times. They say, you can go to training, but we have to be able to get in touch with you in case the world stops tomorrow and we need to call you back to work. So please use vibrating mode. If you have to take a call and make your way out, try to do it as silently as you can. And that's the way life is today. We have to remain connected 24 hours a day, 360 days a year. Any questions on anything about the CISSP or any of the exam content?
The exam is computer-based.
Paper-based. Yeah. You're going to get an exam booklet, and that's a good question, because the exam booklet, there's different color of booklet. For example, Zita, who is sitting right here, would get a red color booklet. Because you sit beside her, you would get a green color booklet. And you might get a yellow color, and they're all different exams. So they have a large database of questions, and out of those 2,000 to 3,000 questions that they have, they will select 250, and they create different exams. So you have about the same level of difficulty, because you need 1,000 points. So according to how hard the question is, the questions will have different scores. So everybody will have about the same level of difficulty, but you might have different questions than other people on the exam. They do this on paper to protect the exam. As you have seen online, if you look, for example, at MCSC exam, you can go to breakdown.com and you have the exact exam questions that you have on the real exam. That's not too good for the value of the exam itself. So they try to protect the value of it. If you have exam cram, breakdown, all over the place, then there's not much value in the exam itself. So far they've been doing good. The big obstacle to this is that you have to wait until there's an exam running somewhere. And usually they come into the UAE a few times a year. They'll go to Kuwait, Qatar, other countries around a few times throughout the years as well. So if you look, they do come within the Middle East quite often. So you should be able to get an exam very easy around here. Any other questions on the meeting?
Is that enough for study, or we have to go for another one?
One single source will not be enough. You need, like, it will depend on how much experience you have.